What's up everyone, my name is Ron from Comics and Stuff, and for this episode, we are going over the G.I.Joe Classified series Steel Corps Troopers. And I'm excited to have this one in hand because with them and the Trubble bubble, it'll help recreate that scene from the animated movie. You know the one that I'm talking about, the one where they're fighting alongside the Statue of Liberty. And they kinda exactly did that same scene right here on the front. It is laminated, some nice artwork to the side that is laminated as well. Over here shows some accessories, all the accessories I mean, and laminated too. To the bottom, G.I.Joe logo embossed. So the overall feel on the front, I like it guys, I won't lie. To the side right here, that nice artwork, number 95, it's all laminated. To the other side, some lamination right here on the stripe, embossment on these three stripes, and it shows that artwork this time with a blue tint and all of that. To the bottom, legalities barcode. To the top, G.I. Joe logo embossed. To the back and the bottom, you know, there's warnings, Hasbro logo, but it also shows all the accessories as well as the figures. And it gives heights for each of the figure, which is 6.1 inches for the male, 5.9 inches for the female right there. Guys, the overall feel on this package, I dig it. But now that we went through it, let's open it up and check out the figures. And here are the figures and accessories outside of the package. And before we head into any detail with them, I wanted to show the boxes that they came in. The figures themselves came in this box. That's got some nice printed artwork, basically the one that's on the package, but this time in black and white. And the accessories came in this crate that we've seen in other G.I. Joe 2-packs. Steel Corps Troopers written on the front, 95 at the top. The G.I. Joe star at the back, 95 at the bottom, and not much of anything on the sides. Now, there were two baggies that contained each batch of accessories. One batch is the effects with the jetpack, and the other batch is the weapons and the alternate heads. And as you guys can see, both baggies got the Cobra and G.I. Joe insignias on them. But let's head into those accessories. Starting off with the weapons. There's two handguns. One for each. One for the male, one for the female. Basically, no paint, but it does got some nice sculpt. There are two knives. Again, one for the male and one for the female. This time it does have some paint on the blade. Like a charcoal gray, but it's nice and metallic, so I do like that. Now, we got the heavy artillery weapons. There's 3 of them. And they do have some nice paint right there, as you guys can see, some green, some nice sculpt. The ammo itself could be ported in for all 3 of them. And it's a nice and tight fit, so you're not going to drop it or anything like that, which is appreciated. Let me just show you this one. Right there again. Does pour it in. Like I said, nice and tight. But this one, I got it a little bit. There we go. And finally, we got the sniper. Again, it got its ammo. But it also has another piece, which is this silencer. And it ports in just fine right there in the barrel. I do like how that looks. Let's head into the alternate heads though, because I do kind of like them, guys. The sculpt is good. The bottom right there, that nice, like, copper, kind of a metallic look. Looks great. The gold visor looks awesome. There is nice detail, as you guys could see. There's some black on the sides, some black at the back. The sculpt overall looks pretty dang well. We'll check later how they fit the figures. But now let's head into the effect pieces because I had a lot of fun with this, guys. No lie. First, the jetpack. The jetpack itself got some nice sculpt, some black on the pipes right there. The American flag right there. JPU 81G-P written right there. And it got a peg in order for you to peg it on the figures. But it also has peg holes for you to peg in the effects. And yeah, just like the weapons, this is a nice tight fit. The white gradients into that orange color, and it gives the job. I mean, it looks like it's blasting off. So I am happy with that. One of them came kind of warped, but the rest are pretty much straight. So I'm not too mad with it. Now, I wanted to show these effect pieces because I am confused with one of them. First of all, there is what I call the standard one. And they come in two sizes. One small, one large. We're going to take one of these weapons so that you guys can see how it works. There we go. That looks good. If you guys wanted to see the long one, there we go. That looks really good. But then there's these separate blast radius effect pieces. Now, port it in like so on the weapon. It does got its own port for these single ones. And hold on a sec. There we go. Yeah. You'll have a lot of fun with these effects, guys. Taking pictures and whatnot. I'm going to show you the other ones real quick. Let's go with the longer piece, just so that I can make things easier. Yeah. Not bad. Not bad at all. And we're going to go with this one right here, which is more of a wide effect. And I do like this one. This one might be my favorite out of the ones that don't contain paint, basically. Yeah, very convincing, very cool looking. Now, the one that does confuse me is this one. I'm going to show you why it confuses me. All right, it ports into the weapon like so. Now, you take one of these and port it in like so. But that doesn't look right. You know, that doesn't look right at all. Maybe it's meant for this one, which got some paint on it also. But again, it still doesn't look right. Maybe it kind of does in certain angles. I think it would have done a lot more of a convincing job if some, or at least a bit more paint, because there is the slightest of paint at the top. But if more was applied, it would have been a little bit more convincing, but doesn't look too bad, to tell you the truth. All right, let me show how these painted pieces going. Basically, as you guys saw with the booster ones, it gradients into the color. This time gradients into the red. Ports into the weapon. And yeah, this one might be my favorite. That looks rather nice. There is also this that gives you more of a motion feel, like I like that. I like that. And the smoking effect for when you have a hot barrel. So I do like how the paint is applied on all the effects, by the way. But now that we went through them, let's head into the figures right here. Starting off with how they measure up, see if the box was correct. And the female figure stands in at about 5.9, while the male figure at about 6.1, might be a hair above, but not much to differentiate from what was in the package. We're going to go through the male figure first, though. As you guys could see, he got some texture on his arms, wrinkles on his pants, nice texture on the boots, laced up. The knees got a different feel to them. These floaty pieces are well sculpted, and they are floaty pieces basically on his shoulders as well, guys. But the insignia, yeah, that's pretty well applied. Now, when it comes to the head, again, that copper metallic look at the bottom looks rather nice. It's broken up with some black. And that blue on the visor does not look bad. Nice texture. I mean, there is no texture. I mean, nice sculpt. Back does got some paint. And the vest, the paint is pretty well applied. Now, when it comes to articulation, though, at the top, he got a ball hinge, as you guys could see. So, and at the bottom, he does got a ball, but it doesn't afford him much range. However, the hinge does do a good job of looking up. And that's especially important since he's going to be flying all around and you're going to need him looking kind of up to make him look straight, basically. So I do like how up he looks, but down, yeah, that's pretty good too. Of course, sorry guys, mine's is a little bit stuck. There we go. There's rotation and you do got tilt, but the majority of it is going to come from that peg on the top. Now, when it comes to his shoulders, these floaty pieces will impede, but he still manages to do close to a T-pose. Depends. Yeah, close to a T-pose. Of course, you're going to get your 360. Bicep cut works just fine. Double jointed, pinned elbows. By the way, guys, he is pinned. She isn't. So, if that interests you, but it gives you good range, pinned or not. There is a swivel and a vertical hinge on this hand. Regular hinge on this one. And as for the waist articulation, there is a ball at the bottom and there is an ab crunch. But the vest impedes the ab crunch big time. So you're not going to get much forward. Yeah, you're not going to get much forward. Back, you're going to get a tad. You're going to get rotation. And you're going to get the slightest of tilts. Drop down hips that get you splits like that, which is pretty good. Kicking forward with the drop down gives you some, not much. He's not a ninja anyway, guys. So, tad back, there is a thigh cut, double jointed and knees that get you pretty good range. Boot cut cleverly hidden on the boot. That works just fine. And feet go up this much, back this much, and it does give you pivot. Now, for the female, she is a little bit different than the male figure. Her vest is different, her pants are different, her boots are different. She got some shin guards, no texture on that boot. Wrinkles though, the knee pads do feel the same. Floaty pieces look alright. Nice sculpt and all of that. The paint is applied rather nicely on the vest. There is portholes, by the way, for both guys, the male and the female, for the knives. She does have floaty pieces for her arms as well. And the face, yeah, same copper metallic look at the bottom, broken up with the black. And to the back, some paint right there, some nice sculpt all around. Yeah, it doesn't look bad. I do like the paint also on the arms right here. Yeah, it doesn't look bad at all. Let's go with her articulation though, because this is where I have a little bit of a problem. The top is a double ball peg, but it doesn't really afford you much, guys. The bottom is the same thing. It got a ball as well, but her collar impedes it, or the ball itself in there doesn't give you a lot of range at all. I'm going to peg the head in so that I could show you what I mean. Looking up, that's about as high up as she could look, guys. And again, these are characters that are on jetpacks. She's going to need to look forward in order to see where she's going. So I am a bit disappointed with that. Going down, however, is not too bad. Tilt, you're going to get most of it at the top ball, guys. And of course, you're going to get your rotation. Shoulders actually go T-pose, full on. 360 works just fine. Now you get a single jointed elbow that gets you about 90 degrees. And you do have swivel there. There is swivel on the wrist, vertical hinges for both of her hands. So she's a bit different than the male right there as well. And when it comes to her torso articulation, guys, I do not know what's going on in there. Basically, the vest does not show me if she got a cut up there, but I do know that she got a ball right there. So it does give you some tilt. Forward, even if there was something in there, it's not going to give you much because of the vest. So she doesn't go forward much at all. Back, that much. And you do get your rotation. Again, drop down hips. Not as much as the male figure, but it's serviceable. And kicking forward. Not bad. Kicking back. Just a tad. The slightest of tads. There is a thigh cut that works just fine. Double jointed and this time pinless knees. That'll get you, yeah, pretty good range. And there is a boot cut just like the male right there. But her foot doesn't go up at all, like much at all, because of how it's all sculpted. Back, it does give you a bit more. And of course, you do get pivot. Now, I do like these figures, guys. You know, I'm just a little bit tad disappointed with the female. But I love the accessories. Anyway, now that we went through them, let's see how they size up with other G.I. Joes as well as other Cobras. And our first comparison will be with a couple of G.I. Joe figures. To the left, representing the females, is Lady J, and to the right, representing the males, is Duke and Roadblock. Now, Lady J's comparison with the female Steel Corps Trooper is pretty dang good. She's got the same height, the same build. You could kind of imagine Lady J being underneath that helmet. When it comes to the males, though, although he has the same height as Duke, he's a bit more stocky, but not as stocky as Roadblock. So it's kind of hard to imagine either of them being underneath that helmet. So now that the G.I. Joe comparisons are done, let's head into the Cobra figure comparisons. And here we have the Steel Corps Troopers next to a couple of Cobra figures with the Cobra Arctic Bat right there on the left and the Cobra Commander right there on the right. The scaling between them and Cobra Commander, I like it, guys. I have no problem. Now, the scaling between them and the Bat, yeah, he stands a bit tall. But you got to keep in mind, guys, he's an android. It works. I got no problem with it at all. So with that being said, let's head into our final comparison. And our final comparison will, of course, have to be with the Cobra Tele-Viper and the Cobra Flight pod, aka the Trubble Bubble. Here we have the Steel Corps Troopers next to the Cobra Tele-Viper, and this is not a bad look at all, guys. I think this looks just fine. And here we got them next to the Cobra Flight pod. I got their jetpacks with their boost effects, and this really touches on the nostalgic strings. I mean, you could recreate that battle at the Statue of Liberty and just have a bunch of fun taking pictures or just playing around with it. I mean, I love it, guys. They go together like peanut butter and jelly. And I had a lot of fun posing them. And in turn, guys, that's what this is all about, having fun. So in conclusion, I think it's pretty evident that I find this 2-pack fun. That's not to say that it doesn't have its faults, especially when it comes to the torso articulation. Particularly on the female. I mean, the males is bad, but the females is horrendous. That and the fact that she's not able to look up. I mean, she's a character with a jetpack. Looking up is essential for a character with a jetpack. And speaking of that jetpack, it fits a whole lot more snug on the male figure than it does on the female. So I do think that the male figure is pretty good. The female, not so much. With that being said, the accessories, the jetpack, the effects, it makes up for it, guys. I mean, I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. And in general, I do think that the Classified Series team has been killing it lately. We got the Trubble Bubble, we got the Steel Corps Trooper, and looming in the horizon is the Vamp and the Dragonfly. So you gotta be pretty dang happy if you're a Classified Series collector. If you guys are interested in the 2-pack, I will leave a link down in the descriptions. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like, subscribe, and let me know down in the comments what you think of it. My name is Ron from Comics and Stuff, and I'll check you guys on the next episode. Peace.